let's turn this back up again. So just make sure that you're in a comfortable position. So I would suggest that, let's get this on. Tell us, Susan. Oh, she's ignoring you. She's a bit like
Hi,
that.
Gordana.
She's very fickle, Gordana. She's so like that. Right, I'm going to mute everybody. Participants, that's it. Hello, Anne. I hope you're well.
Hi, Anne.
Hi. You all. Yeah, terrific. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so let's find just a comfortable seated position. So normally you can sit cross-legged, but if you're sitting cross-legged, the idea is that your knees are lower than the rim of your hip. So that pointy bit of the hip, you'd like the knees to be lower than that. If that doesn't work, you can sit on a couple of your cushions just to bring the knees a little bit lower. Or you could sit with your feet tucked underneath you. And if that got a bit strong in your knees, you could have your cushion or two cushions just to take that flexion out. Or you could sit in a chair. I really don't mind. We're not going to get enlightened tonight. So whatever makes you feel comfortable is good. If you like to have your back against the wall, it's entirely up to you. Just so that the chest is nice and open and the back is upright. I'm just going to, before we go too far, what we'll do is we'll have a few rounds of our own breath, and then we might start to bring in Ujjayi breath, victorious breath, or also known as ocean breath or Darth Vader breath. And this is where you restrict the back of your throat slightly. So if you can snore, you could do this as well. So when you breathe in, it makes a noise. So I don't know if you can hear that, but you restrict the back of your throat and it makes a slight noise. So we can think about using that as well. So wherever we are, in our comfortable seated position, if it's okay with you, perhaps just close the eyes. Or if you don't want to close the eyes, perhaps just lower the gaze. And just begin to become aware of your normal, natural breath. Breathing nice and easy. Being aware of when you inhale, how long you inhale for, and being aware when you exhale and how long you exhale for. Just observe, there's no need to change anything at this stage. I just want you to be aware of your breath. And then perhaps when you next inhale, consider using Ujjayi breath. Restricting the breath at the back of the throat, almost as if you could breathe into the back of the throat. And your breath will be audible to you. You'll be able to hear your breath. And then from this part, I want you to consider, rather than trying to draw the breath into the back of your throat, think about using your respiratory system, thinking about using the diaphragm and the muscles around the rib cage to draw that breath down. So you're still using an Ujjayi breath, but perhaps it's more gentle. Less audible, but you can still feel that breath. Not so much of a dragging down the back of the throat. And just maybe during a class, it might be something to think about to use this Ujjayi breath as we go through our posture work. And then just returning to your normal natural breath. And blinking the eyes open if you're closed and having a stretch out. I'm just going to give my sister a wave. Oh, on my knees, that's exciting. Oh, thanks, Susan. That's cute. Right, so let's look at the time. Great. So let's come to a place where we have our feet are hip width apart, the knees are bent. I want you to think about drawing up on your pelvic floor. Knees and ankles are hip width apart. Draw up on your pelvic floor, draw the belly in, take the arms in front of us. When the arms sometimes are in front of us, I tend to like really extend my arms, but I want the arms to still be in their sockets, the shoulders are still in their sockets. We're going to breathe in, we're going to lift, we're going to find length in the front of the chest. So we're going to breathe in, we're going to sit up tall, and we're going to roll the shoulders back and down. So my upper chest is slightly lifted. Good. So from here, you may begin to feel efforts, or if you begin to feel this effort in your lumbar, then perhaps bring the posture forward. If it feels okay, we're going to breathe in, lift the chest, we're going to roll the shoulders back and down. Next time, we're going to breathe in, and then we're just going to perhaps move back just a few inches. Keep the chest lifted. Think about lifting up the pelvic floor. Think about drawing the core in, sucking all of this into like a center column. Imagine a center column running down the middle of the body. Think about drawing all that effort, all that energy inwards. If you start to feel it in your lumbar, just allow the body to come forward. Breathing in. As you breathe out, maybe taking it a little bit further back. As you breathe in, let's all come forward. Good. As you breathe out, moving further back. As you breathe in, let's come forward. As you breathe out, moving further back. To your measure, don't let the effort go into the lumbar spine. Breathing in, coming forward. As you breathe out, coming further back. And then I want you to allow yourself to curl your spine now. So where we had the chest lifted, we're going to allow the chest to curl now. So we've got almost like a C shape going on. And from here, we're going to slowly lower yourself down to the ground. Maybe the idea here is that we get down to the ground without cracking our heads open. Good. Lovely. And then from here, lying on your backs, we're going to come into happy baby pose. So we're going to draw our knees onto, not actually onto the chest, we're going to draw our knees either side of our chest, either side of the torso, and allow the feet to come up so the soles of the feet are pointing up or facing the ceiling. And then perhaps you can hold the feet, maybe the inside or the outside, maybe the outside edges of the feet. If you find that that's too far away and your arms don't reach up there, it's fine to loop and put a belt around there instead. But wherever you are, we're just going to do a gentle hip open here, happy baby pose, holding onto the feet, drawing the knees down towards perhaps to the sides of the chest. We can just rock back and forward here. It's quite a nice hip opener, relaxed, nice and easy. And perhaps you can roll side to side, maybe one knee can touch the floor and then roll over to the other side. And then the next time you come back to center, we're going to stay in this position. We're going to keep the legs where they are, but we're going to release the hands. We're going to have the fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling. If you have any issues with your head, if it feels more comfortable, I should have said this is perfect to have a cushion underneath your head here, if that feels better. Have your fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling. Begin to draw your pelvic floor in and draw your abdomen in, and maybe you can sort of just start to lift your tailbone off of the floor. There may be a bit of momentum going on there, that's fine. Drawing the tailbone off of the floor, and then maybe holding. Lifting the tailbone off of the floor. Maybe some of you can like roll right over. My core strength isn't my big thing. And then with the fingers pointing towards the ceiling, we're going to flex the wrists. So my hands are now flexed, and it's almost as if I'm going to lift my head off of the floor, if that feels okay, lifting my shoulders and my head off of the floor, curling into a ball, trying to reach up as if I was pushing my hands away, drawing my knees further down. Keep the head tucked in, don't allow the head to become heavy, the head needs to be tucked in. And then allow the head to come back down, shoulders and the head come back down, allow the feet to come down. Perhaps cross the legs, hold either side of the feet. So I've crossed my legs at my lower legs. I'm holding either the outside edge of my feet. I'm going to rock backwards and forwards a few times. And then with enough momentum, I'm going to come up and steam. Good. And then from here, we're going to just do a few wrist exercises. Please come on again. So again, sitting in a comfortable position. Let's take the hands in front of us, shoulders back and down still, and just make little comfortable fists. And we're going to just rotate the wrists one way. And rotate them the other way. Good, give them a shake out. Spread the fingers nice and wide. And then I want you to draw the fingers up towards the ceiling. Really, fingers are nice and spread, and we're trying to pull the fingers back. It's almost as if your forefingers could come down and touch the forearm. Sorry, the middle finger could come back and touch the forearm. Shoulders are back and down, drawing the fingers back. Fingers nice and spread. And just being aware of where you're feeling this delight. Where are you feeling the delight in your arms? Shoulders back and down. How straight can you make your arms as well? Good. We're going to breathe in here, and then as we breathe out, we're going to turn the fingers away from each other. Keep the fingers nice and spread. Keep drawing the fingers back, shoulders back and down. Maybe draw the belly in, think about the pelvic floor lifting up. Spreading the fingers nice and wide. Spread, spread. Good. And feeling the delight still. We're going to breathe in here, and as we breathe out, we're going to turn the fingers to the floor. Fingers nice and spread still. 4 fingers trying to touch the forearms. If you wanted to, you could pretend to be Spider-Man. That's good. I love that. Sorry, that some of you are new to the class. You might find that amusing. The others that have been here a few times are like, really, you shut up about Spider-Man. Breathing in here, and then next time we breathe out, we're going to turn the fingers towards each other. No, we're not. We're going to go right the way around. Then you can't do that. That's not anatomically possible. Fingertips facing each other, still pushing the heel of the hands away. Shoulders back and down. Arms nice and straight. Fingers spread. And then give them a shake out. Sometimes it's quite nice just to rest the backs of the hands on the floor, just to work the wrists the other way. Cool. And then we take the hands in front of us again, spread the fingers nice and wide, and then make a loose fist. Spread the fingers nice and wide, and make a fist. Wide, fist, wide, fist, wide, fist. As if you're just trying to flick water off of your fingers. Wide fist, wide fist, wide fist, and go faster. And go faster. And go faster. Maybe begin to raise them up in the air, just as a little distraction technique. And then take them down again. It's fine. That's great. Oh, that is like my worst thing. I've been doing that about 10 years now, and I still don't like it. Okay. And then we're going to come into cat. So come on to all fours. Have the idea that your knees are beneath your hips and your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Almost as if the wrist could be in that sort of set, almost well, underneath your shoulders, let's not get too technical. If this flexion on your wrist, if this 90-degree flexion is too much for your wrist, then just take the hands perhaps a little bit further forward so you remove some of that flexion, or you can always just roll the mat up slightly, again, just to take out some of that flexion. I'm going to do a little bit of cat breathing here. So, as we breathe in, we're going to turn the tailbone up towards the ceiling, and as we do that, the mid-back will begin to sink towards the floor, and the shoulders and the head will come up. As we breathe out, we're going to tuck the tailbone under, curl that tailbone under as much as you can, and then the mid-back will go up towards the ceiling, upper back, and the shoulders and the head hang down. Breathing in, the tailbone is going to come up, mid-back ripples to the floor, shoulders and the head come up. Breathing out, tucking the tailbone under, drawing the next vertebrae, all drawing, putting on its friend, shoulders and the head come down. Tailbone turning up, mid-back to the floor, shoulders and head up. Breathing out, tucking the tailbone under, mid-back ripples up towards the ceiling and the shoulders and the head hang down. Good. And the next time you breathe out, tucking the tailbone under, mid-back up towards the ceiling, we're going to stay here. Just think about pushing into the balls of the fingers. The head is hanging long, but you're getting quite a nice stretch over the top of the shoulder girdle. Draw the belly in, draw the pelvic floor in, keep breathing. Breathing out, and then the next time you breathe in, we're going to turn the tailbone up towards the ceiling, mid-back ripples to the floor, shoulders and the head come up, and we're going to stay here for a few breaths. Good. Breathing nice and easy. So I sort of feel this effort a little bit in my lumbar spine, but the more I draw my shoulders back and down, and the more I think about my chest moving forward, I can begin to, I don't know, maybe it's just an idea, but it's almost an idea that that movement moves out of my lumbar, or that effort moves out of my lumbar and starts to come into my mid-back and my upper back. But make sure you're not straining the head too much. Make sure that the head is still in line with the spine. Your head's either looking up towards the sky or down towards the floor. Thinking about that chest moving forward, shoulders back and down. That back arch begins to come into the mid and upper back. And then releasing. Have a bit of a move around. And then from here, we're going to take the right leg back, just tucking the toes under slightly. We're going to breathe in, we're going to lift that right leg up. As we breathe out, we're going to draw that right knee in towards the chest. And we're going to push the floor away, we're going to round our back like we just did. We're going to stay here for a few breaths and think about, can we kiss our knee? Can we draw that knee any closer? Can we give that knee a kiss? Lift the pelvic floor up, abdomen is drawing in. Can you lift the knee a little higher? Toes a little higher. Drawing that knee, that thigh as close as you can to your torso. Taking that right leg back, down to the floor. Drawing that right knee back in. Let's go over to the left. So taking the left leg back, breathing in, we're going to lift that left leg, breathing out, we're going to draw that left leg in, as if we could give that left knee a kiss. Round in the back. Lifting the knee a tiny bit higher, another centimetre. Pushing it. That's what happened today. And then take the hips back to the heels, give that arms a shake out. Cool. Then we're going to come back onto all fours again, but we're going to come into long cat. So from here, we're going to take the hands one hand length further forward. And then we're going to bring the shoulders over the wrists, and we're going to step the right foot in between the hands. So what you need to make sure here is that you don't want, I've kind of exaggerated it, but you don't want the knee to overshoot the ankle. So just come to a place where the ankle is directly underneath the knee. You can walk this foot forward, or perhaps you can walk the back leg back. But we're not in a runner's lunge here. My pelvis is sinking low. There's a lovely stretch down this back, the front of this back thigh. Perhaps on fingertips here. There's also, I find when I practice this posture, I love to examine my foot. And then I'm like, what am I doing? So let's think about the shoulders being back and down, and just look straight ahead. So that again, the head is neck is in line with the spine. Allow that pelvis to sink down nice and low. And then we're going to take the right hand onto the inside of that right leg. It might be more comfortable to come onto the flats of the hands if you can. You're going to breathe in here. Now, as you breathe out, we're going to come onto the outside edge of your right foot and allow that right hip to open. You may feel a little bit of a clunk. Just a nice opening on that hip. If you wanted to, you could take your right hand and just place your right hand on your right thigh. And so I tend to move away from my legs. I'm kind of creating some sort of balance here. Good. And then releasing the hand, allow that knee to come back up. The right foot comes back to the floor. Come back to spider fingers on the either side of the foot. And then from here, we're going to breathe in here. As you breathe out, we're going to take this right hip back. The right hip comes back, so this right leg begins to straighten. As you breathe out, we're going to move forward. Hips, pelvis sinking low. As we breathe out, we're going to move back. Right hip back, perhaps the right leg begins to straighten. As we breathe out, moving forward. Breathing out, taking that right leg back. Come forward once more. We're on fingertips here. Breathing out, taking that right leg back. We're going to stay here now. Again, don't be examining your right foot too much. Think about the shoulders back and down still. Looking about maybe 2 feet ahead of you. Good. So I want you to think about the right hip moving back here. Just even though the right hip is already back, just having that extra thought about the right hip moving back. Maybe you can feel your hamstrings trying to release a little bit further. And maybe this is feeling great for you. And then I love that. If you wanted to take it a stage further, you thought actually my hamstrings want to release a little bit more, from fingertips, we could perhaps take our hands so that the palms are flat on the floor. My arms are still straight. My palms are now flat on the floor. And for me, this has made a difference. I can feel more of a nice stretch down the back of that leg. Good. And again, this is a great place to stay. If you find it's too much, you can always come back to spider fingers. So with the palms, if you want to go a stage further, with the palms flat on the floor, the arms are straight. Perhaps you could bend the elbows, drawing the torso closer down to the leg. Keep thinking about that right hip back. Shoulders back and down still. Breathing nice and easy, perhaps thinking about ujjayi breath. A gentle ujjayi breath. And then whenever you are, the next time you're going to breathe in, as you breathe out, we're going to draw those right toes back so we flex that right foot. Don't forget the little toe side. Good. And then taking that right foot back towards the floor. Just tuck the toes under of the back leg, push into the hands, coming into downward dog. And then perhaps taking that left hand is a foot, that left foot forward. And again, finding that position so that the knee is directly above the ankle. The pelvis is sinking nice and low, that back leg is working back. And walk that back leg a bit more. So I'm not in a runner's lunge here. I'm sinking the pelvis down. And this is another one of those things where we sink the pelvis down nice and low, and then just for entertainment's sake, we can think about that left knee moving forward. And just thinking about that left knee moving forward tends to bring on a deeper stretch in that back thigh, which is just amazing that just by thinking about it, it makes a difference. Does anybody want to give me a thumbs up and say that they agree with me? Thank you, thank you. Audience participation, I love that. Good. And then we're going to take the left hand onto the inside edge of the left foot. Maybe the palms might be more comfortable if they're flat on the floor. We're going to roll over onto the outside edge of that left foot, just opening up that left hip. I think you are, I'm guessing that you all get me, but it's just like that. Okay. And then if you wanted to, you could place that left hand just to encourage that a little bit further. Beauts. Love the smiles. Good. And then we're going to come back up, allow that foot to come back flat to the floor, or just twizzle around again. Good. Just find that nice sinking, that moment, the pelvis sinking down towards the floor again. Coming up onto the fingertips, spider fingers, arms are straight. We're going to breathe in here. As you breathe out, we're going to slowly draw that left hip back, beginning to straighten that left leg. As we breathe in, we're going to move forward. As we breathe out, we're going to take that left hip back. As you breathe in, we're going to move forward. So we're just doing nice, easy movements. So if anything doesn't feel right for you, you can easily move out of the posture. And then the next time we draw the hip back, we're going to stay here. So I'm on spider fingers. I'm not hanging, my head isn't hanging down. My shoulders are still backing down. And I'm looking maybe a little foot or two ahead. Shoulders backing down. I mean, it's quite interesting. If you allow the spine to relax, maybe you'll notice that that hamstring stretch disappears. Whereas you take the shoulders backing down, perhaps you feel it again. This is a great place to stay. If you wanted to, you could take the palms of the hands to the floor. Perhaps increase that stretch a tiny bit. Keep thinking about the left hip moving back. Good. If you want to take it a stage further, perhaps you could begin to bend the elbows, draw the elbows back. Shoulders are still backing down. My back is trying to stay flat. I'm not allowing the back to round. I'm trying to keep my back flat, looking just slightly ahead. There's contact. If you're coming to this stage, there's contact between my torso and my thigh. Keep thinking wherever you are, keep thinking that left hip back. And then breathing in, and as you breathe out, just rolling over that left heel so the toes point up towards the ceiling. Drawing the left hip back and just noticing perhaps how that feels for you. Maybe for me, I feel it more in my left calf here. Thinking about the little toe trying to draw back as well. Maybe bending the elbows a bit more if they're on that stage. And then taking that foot flat to the floor, tuck the toes under the back leg, pushing into the hands, coming into downward dog. And then we're going to walk the hands towards the feet towards the hands. Taking the hands to the hips, keeping the knees nicely bent. We're going to breathe in, we're going to begin to lift the torso to the upright, and as you breathe out, we're going to push into the floor, come into standing. Lovely, and we're going to move into our sun salutations. So we're going to do 5 sun salutations, up to 5. If you do one, and then think, sod this for a game of soldiers, that's perfect, you can rest. Maybe join another one later on in the process. You look after yourselves, you do what works for you. What works for you will work for me. OMG, I just realised I didn't like the incense stick with the unromantic lighter. I knew I wasn't feeling quite zen. It's all magic now. I feel so zen and meditated and calm. Okay, let's stand at the front of the mat. Think about your big toe joints coming together, perhaps a gap at the heels. Or if it feels more comfortable for you, you can allow, if you were as a skeleton and I picked you up from your shoulders, where your feet would fall naturally underneath your hips. Either of those things are fine. Think about the balls of the toes, the outside edges of the feet, the heel, just being aware of their contact with the floor. Begin to think about energy coming up from the floor, lifting up the inner arches of the feet, moving up the shins, beginning to lift the kneecaps, the quads begin to come engage. We're lifting up our pelvic floor, we're drawing the abdomen in, the back of the waist is drawing in, shoulders are back and down so the chest is nice and open, and the crown of the head is thinking about going towards the ceiling. So we've created a long, straight, strong line of energy. Good. Let's take the hands to heart center. We're going to breathe in here and breathing out. This time we're going to breathe in, we're going to lower the hands, we're going to circle them up towards the ceiling, stretching up, looking up if that's good. Breathing out, we're going to begin to lower the hands, we're going to bend the knees, we're going to take the hips back in space, the hands are going to come to the floor, we're going to tuck the chin in and we're going to lift the tailbone. Breathing in, we're just going to look up, straightening the arms. As you breathe out, we're going to step back as far as you can with your right leg and your left leg. Engage in the core, allow the knees to come down, bending the elbows, the chest comes down to the floor. Breathing in, we're going to look up, shoulders back and down, elbows are tucked in. Breathing out, we're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to push the floor away, coming up onto all fours. Take the hips back towards the heels. Push into the balls of the fingers and coming up into downward dog, our V shape. Breathing in for one here, allow the head to hang nice and long. Breathing out for one. Breathing in for two, the hands should be at least shoulder width apart. Breathing out for two. Breathing in for three, the feet are at least hip width apart. Breathing out for three. Breathing in for four, the fingers are nice and spread. Breathing out for four. Breathing in for five. Breathing out for five, coming up to the tips of the toes, lifting up the right leg, pushing on the left toe so we move the body forward. Right leg and left leg. Breathing in, we're going to look up. Breathing out, we're going to fold back down. Breathing in, we're going to bend our knees, hit the arms nice and wide, lift up with the heart, lift up with the heart, stretching up, looking up if that's good. Breathing out, hands back to heart center. And again, breathing in, we're going to lower the arms, circle them up towards the ceiling, stretching up, looking up. Breathing out, bend the knees, taking the hips back in space, hands come to the floor, tuck the chin in and lift the tailbone up. Breathing in, we're going to look up. Breathing out, we're going to engage the core, take the left leg back as far as you can and the right leg. Allow the knees to come down, bend the elbows, chest touches down first. Breathing in, we're going to look up, shoulders back and down, elbows tucked in. Breathing out, we're going to tuck the toes under, push the floor away, hips back towards the heels, pushing into the hands, the hips come up into space. Breathing in for one, adjusting the hands and feet. Breathing out for one. Breathing in for two, the fingers are nice and spread. Breathing out for two. Breathing in for three. Think about pushing into the balls of the fingers. Breathing out for three. Breathing in for four, it's as if you could tilt the balls of the fingers into the earth. Breathing out for four. Breathing in for five. Breathing out for five, coming onto the tips of the toes, lifting the left leg up, drawing the left leg forward, moving forward, left and right. Breathing in, we're going to look up. Breathing out, we're going to fold back down. Breathing in, we're going to bend our knees, Lifting up the heart, the head, pushing into the floor, coming up to standing, stretching up, breathing out, hands back to heart center. Breathing in, we're going to lower the arms, circle up towards the ceiling, stretching up, looking up. Breathing out, we're going to bend the knees, take the hips back in space, hands to the floor, tuck the chin in, lift the tailbone up to the ceiling. Breathing in, we're going to look up. Breathing out, then step back as far as you can with your right leg and your left leg. Engage the core, lower the knees down, bend the elbows, the chest touches down first. Breathing in, we're going to look up, shoulders back and down, elbows are tucked in. Breathing out, we're going to tuck the toes under, push the floor away, hips back towards the heels. Pushing into the balls of the fingers, taking the hips up into space. Breathing in for one, adjusting the hands and feet. Breathing out for one. Breathing in for two. Thinking about how broad can you make your shoulders. Breathing out for two. Breathing in for three. Think about turning the triceps towards the ears. Breathing out for three. Breathing in for four. Thinking about the armpits sinking down towards the floor. Breathing out for four. Breathing in for five. Breathing out for five, coming onto tiptoes. Right leg comes up, draw the right leg in, move the body forward, step forward, right and left. Breathing in, we're going to look up, creating length. Breathing out, we're going to take that length back down towards the legs. Breathing in, we're going to bend the knees, lift up the head, arms wide, lifting up with the heart, stretching up, looking up. Breathing out, hands back to heart center. Breathing in, we're going to lower the arms, circle them up towards the ceiling. Breathing out, we're going to bend the knees, hips back in space, hands to the floor, tuck the chin in, lift the tailbone. Breathing in, we're going to look up. Breathing out, we're going to step back as far as you can with your left leg, your right leg into plank. Lower the knees, engage the core, the chest comes down first. Breathing in, we're going to look up, shoulders back and down, elbows are tucked in. Breathing out, we're going to tuck the toes under, we're going to push the floor away, coming onto all fours, hips back to the heels, push into the hands and hips up into space. Breathing in for one, allow the head to hang nice and long still. Breathing out for one. Breathing in for two, pushing into the balls of the fingers and stretching your hips away. Breathing out for two. Breathing in for three, the head is hanging long, but you can feel that stretch down the sides of the body. Breathing out for three. Breathing in for four, think about turning the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Breathing out for four. Breathing in for five. Breathing out for five, coming up onto the tiptoes, taking the left leg up, drawing the left leg in, shoulders move over the wrists, step forward left and right. Breathing in, we're going to look up. Breathing out, we're going to fold back down. Breathing in, we're going to bend our knees, lift up the head, arms wide, push into the floor, lift up with the heart. Stretching up, looking up if that's good. Breathing out, hands back to heart center. One more. Breathing in, we're going to lower the arms, step them up towards the ceiling, stretching up. Breathing out, we're going to bend the knees, the hips come back in space. Hands come to the floor, we're going to tuck the chin in, we're going to lift the tailbone up to the ceiling. Breathing in, we're going to look up. Breathing out, we're going to take the right leg back, the left leg back in plank, core is strong, knees come down, bend the elbows, the chest comes down first. Breathing in, we're going to look up, shoulders back and down, elbows are tucked in. Breathing out, we're going to tuck the toes under, we're going to push the floor away into all fours, hips towards the heels. Pushing up into downward dog. Breathing in for one, adjusting the hands and feet. Breathing out for one. Breathing in for two. Everybody bend their knees strongly so your knees are sinking in. Breathing out for two. Breathing in for three. Think about your torso sweeping down towards your thighs. Breathing out for three. Breathing in for four. Keeping the body where it is, and as you breathe out for four, just think about the heels coming back down towards the ground. Breathing out for four. Breathing in for five. Breathing out for 5, lifting up that right leg, drawing the right knee in, stepping forward, right and left. Breathing in, looking up, creating length. Breathing out, taking that length back down towards the legs. Breathing in, we're going to bend our knees, lift the head, arms wide, push into the floor, stretching, feel the stretch here. Breathing out, hands back to heart center. Close the eyes, take a few breaths. Notice that your heart rate may have increased, and that is super. Good, well done everybody. Let me just get this computer on again. It likes to close on me ones. But you guys stay standing upright. You need a belt for the next bit, so get hold of the belts. Oh, mate, I don't even know why. Here we go. If anybody can lip read, they so saw me spell my password then. So, let's get hold of our belts. Let's stand with our feet hip width apart, but the outside edges of the feet are going to be parallel with the outside edges of your mat. So you may need to just twizzle the feet a little bit, and I can sort of feel that movement there, but it feels fine. We're going to take our belt. We're going to wrap the belt around the hands. Think about that energy, that long, strong, straight line of energy that we created earlier. We're going to create that again. We're going to take the arms nice and wide, shoulders back and down. Keep the arms nice and stretched here. So begin to pull on the belt already. We're going to breathe in, keep the lower ribs tucked in. Breathing in, we take the arms up. And breathing out, we take the arms back behind us. If the arms don't come all the way down, it's fine for them to stay wherever they get to. Breathing in, we're going to come forward. Breathing out, taking the arms down again. So if your arms did get stuck back there, just think about making the belt wider apart. If you felt there was nothing going on there, then take the arms and make the belt shorter. But wherever you are, make sure that you keep the arms nice and straight and the arms are working in tandem together. So breathing in, lifting the arms up, keeping the lower ribs tucked in, breathing out, taking the arms back behind us. Breathing in, we're going to come forward. Breathing out, taking the arms forward. Keep the arms nice and straight. Breathing in. Breathing out, taking the arms back behind us. Really opening up the shoulders, opening up the chest. Spinning our heart chakras. It's fine to keep adjusting the belt so that it works best for you. Working on your own breath. And then the next time we come forward, we're going to stay here. We're going to shorten the belt so that we now have the belt shoulder width apart. I'm wondering how much you can see. I might just tilt this a little bit because I feel that. I'm just going to, okay, that's fine. So the belt is now shoulder width apart. I'm going to keep that long, strong, straight line of energy. I'm going to take the belt up towards the ceiling. And I'm going to begin to bend my elbows. Keep drawing my lower ribs in. I'm going to bend my elbows, but I'm going to think about bending my elbows and then taking my elbows back in space behind me. I'm bending my elbows, taking my elbows back. My shoulder blades are beginning to draw together behind. The shoulder blades are coming together. I'm just pulling on the belt. And I'm coming to a place, my elbows don't drop below my shoulders, but I'm coming to a place where the belt is about 1 inch or 2 from the back of my head. Still drawing the belly in, lower ribs are still tucked in. I'm putting on the belt, and this is strong already. I find it more comfortable if I have my chin tucked in, so just think about that if that helps. This is a great place to stay. You're building up strength. If you wanted to take it a stage further, we're going to begin to straighten the arms, but rather than taking the arms directly up, we're going to move the arms diagonally away from the back of the head. So it's as if my hands could touch that corner of where the ceiling and the wall meet. Drawing the belly in still. Trying to go for that diagonal line. The arms going back, diagonal behind me. Pulling on the belt still. See if you can just push through another centimetre or two. Observing where you feel the effort. Just observing, not having any opinion on it. Just say, oh, there it is. Not, I hate that, Lucy, for making me do this. And there it is. Great. Lovely. Okay, and then we're going to come back down into a cat position again. We're going to work a little bit more with our arms. So, so what we're going to do, just watch for a second if that helps. It might help. Well, we're going to come into the, just come to a comfortable seated position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend from cat, I'm going to bend my elbows so that my forearms come down to the floor, my hips move back in space. At the moment, my forearms are parallel to each other, but I'm going to draw the elbows in. And let's just say that my nose was 20 centimetres or whatever it is from the floor. I want my nose to stay this distance away from the floor. I'm going to super glue the top of my feet to the floor, draw my belly in, and I'm going to just begin to move the body forward. So I'm not moving up, I'm just moving the body forward. The elbows come off of the floor, the forearms come off of the floor. And I can stay here for a few breaths. I can draw the elbows in, and perhaps I can move forward. Once I start to go like this, and I start to feel it in my lumbar, then I'm going to come back to a place where it feels strong and safe. Shall we all have a go at that? Does that sound awesome? Awesome! Right, so from cat, we're going to take the hips back in space, allow the forearms to come to the floor. And then the forearms are parallel. We're going to draw the elbows in together. Good. Super glue the top of the feet to the floor. Draw the belly in. Be aware of how far away your nose is from the mat. And then all we're going to do here is just simply move the body forward. And wherever you are, just pause here, draw the elbows together. You can stay here if you wanted to. You could just move the body forward a little bit more. Draw the belly in still. Elbows coming together. You stay here, or perhaps you can move the body forward. But know that you've got to go back. Keep the core engaged, draw the body back. Draw the body back. Draw the body back. Hips towards the heels. Give the arms a shake out. Who loved that so much that they want to do it again? Oh man, the enthusiasm is palpable through the screen. It's crazy. Right, so let's come back to it again. Feet super glued to the mat. Draw the belly in. Forearms come down to the floor. Draw the elbows in. By drawing the elbows in, it ensures that we practice with our triceps. Being aware of how far our nose is from the floor, we're going to begin to move the body forward. Lifting the elbows, begin to lift off of the floor, only because we're moving the body forward. Wherever you are, just stay here for a breath or two. Think about the elbows coming together. Make sure the head is relaxed. Then we can move the body forward a little bit more. You can stay here, make sure that the core is drawing in, you haven't taken the effort to the lumbar. You can move forward a bit more if you wanted to. Drawing the elbows in, and then moving all the way back. And just resting in child, taking the head down to the floor, the forearms, the arms down, back towards the feet. Good. So from here, I didn't quite think this part of the class through properly, because I'm now going to make you come up to standing again. So, and whatever gallant, graceful yoga style you can do, come up into standing. As a rule, I try not to make you come up and down too much, but it was just bad planning on my part today. So we're going to come to a squat position. This is where, I'll just show you first of all, this is where we bend the knees and the hips back in space. We come down, the pelvis sinks down, and we look like this. The reason I'm showing you this is that if you find that your heels, that you can't get your heels down, then all you need to do is you can either use your cushion, or you can use a yoga block if you have one, or if not, you can just roll up the end of the mat. Maybe put the heels on the mat, and then we can, so then you just roll up the mat and so the heels come onto the mat. If you know that your heels aren't going to come down, maybe roll the mat up now. But we're going to come to a place where the feet are at least maybe just slightly wider than hip width apart. And we're going to turn the toes out slightly. And then we're going to bend the knees as much as you can. And then we're going to take the hips back in space. And you can bend the knees some more. You take the hips back in space, you can bend the knees some more, bend the knees some more, bend the knees some more. And perhaps we come to seated to a squat. If this isn't working out for you, it's perfect actually just to sit on the floor, having the hips down on the floor. You can still place what we're going to do here is we're going to place our elbows in between our knees and create a little circle of energy. So even if the squat isn't working for you, this is perfect to do. Otherwise, if you're in a squat position, just take the body forward first of all, create some length here. Good. Shoulders are back and down still. And then move, so it's just that we allow the body to come through, start to begin to come through our thighs. Then we're going to walk the hands back. We're going to bring the hands to heart center, and in doing so, we're going to, if you need to adjust the feet at all, that's perfect. We're going to take the corner of the elbow and place it in that corner of the knee, where the knee fold is. And we just bring the hands to heart center, shoulders back and down. Pelvic floor, the pubic bone is dropping down towards the floor, tailbone is dropping down, the chest is lifting up. Think about the elbows pushing into the knees and the knees pushing into the elbows. A lovely hip opener. Good. And then from here, I'm just going to move around to the side. From here, we're going to take the hands forward, rock the body forward so that you come onto your toes. And I just want you to be aware of that gentle ujjayi breath again that we thought about earlier on. Breathing nice and easy. Inhaling and exhaling. Nice gentle breath. We're going to inhale, and the next time we exhale, we're going to take the hips. We're going to roll back onto the legs and come up into a short dog. And notice that your breath hasn't changed. Breathing out, let's just bend the knees again. So often, when I did this yoga workshop on Sunday to how to keep my qualification relevant, and it's just often like we come into this field position of like, it's a position of strength in downward dog, and we're pushing into the floor, we're pushing ourselves back, and it's quite energetic, but there's an idea that maybe we shouldn't be working so hard or pushing so hard, we should have more of a gentle, apparently animals tread gently on the earth, whereas we're all like pushing the earth away. And I know I say these things as well, but it's quite an interesting idea when I was at this course day of how we can move gently. So from here, if we wanted to come back into that squat again, we're on our tiptoes, the hands are just forward. We're just breathing nice and easy. And then as we breathe out, we take the hips back and up into space. And I do feel much lighter on the ground. My body isn't aware, my breath isn't aware that my body has changed shape. Good. And then we're going to bend the knees again and come down to a comfortable seated position. I'll show you where we're going to go to next. So, you should all have your cushions or pillows to hand. We're going to place the cushions in front of us. And we're going to begin to work with a posture called, I think it's called Bakasana, though I do see it gets called different things in wherever you look, but what we would call crow pose. So, what we're going to do is, like we just did in that squat posture, I'm going to come to a place where my knees are wide apart, my hands are turning slightly inwards on the ground, and I'm going to push my elbow, the crook of my elbow, into that crook of my knee. And I'm going to think about, I'm keeping my body low, I'm going to look perhaps towards the end of my cushion, and I'm going to move my body forward, and then I'm going to take one foot off of the floor. Take that foot back. I might take my left foot off of the floor. And then I might think about moving the body forward a little bit further, and my feet are becoming light, and I can lift both of my feet off the floor. I don't jump or leap. It's because I've moved forward, it's the balance. The balance begins to lift my feet off of the floor. So I'd also like to participants, unmute all. Does that make perfect sense for everybody?
Yeah.
Oh, well done, guys. Okay, I'm going to mute you all again, and we'll give this a go. But the idea is that we move forward. We don't jump or leave. It's the moving forward, that tilt, that balance of our feet lift. So we can practice just doing one leg at a time, first of all. Just move that out of the way as well, sorry. Rotating. So we have the cushions here, so that if we do lose our balance, we're going to be fine. We're going to keep the body low. The hands are just turning slightly inwards. The elbows are pushing into the crooks of the knee. If you are happy practicing crow on your own, do your own thing. What I'm actually showing you is a bit of a cheats version, I don't know, for want of a better word, but it helps me find my balance, and then from there I could move further into the posture. But for me, I needed to find my balance first of all. So keeping the body low, elbows are strongly bent here. Just the hips just lift up slightly. We move the body forward. Let's just lift off the right foot. The right foot is lifted off of the floor. Take the right foot back down to the floor. Perhaps lift the left foot off of the floor. Perhaps take that left foot back. Maybe you felt a lightness in your feet already, and you thought, if I just move another centimetre or two further forward, both of my feet will come off of the floor. And if I fall, it's going to be okay. How are you getting on, guys? Susan, you're looking terribly comfortable. Are you all okay? Can I help anybody? Nice one, Scott. It's a move forward. You're moving forward. Have you had a go, Susan? Nod. Nah. Did you understand the instructions? Did you understand the instructions? You did.
Oh, show me your arms again.
So,
You said bend the elbow, but I can bend them up to a point.
so I've got my elbows bent quite strongly.
Right.
My hands are turned inwards.
Yeah.
And my elbow is pushing into that little fold of my knee.
Yeah, I got that.
I'll keep you on for a little bit then. So I'm in a squat.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to move my body further into the floor. And as I move my body down a little bit, I can feel the pressure between my elbows and my knees increases.
Yeah.
And then I just move the body forward. Maybe look towards the end of the cushion. So if you look down, it will drag the whole of the posture down. So you need to look ahead. Not like massive ahead, just look to the end of the mat or something. and move the body forward. And then think about taking just the right foot off of the floor. That's brilliant. Taking the right foot off of the floor. Put the right foot down. Take it left foot down. If you move, was that a laugh of success?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're doing yoga out there? I don't know what you're all doing. I can't see.
I don't want to see this.
Have you had enough of that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well done. I'm going to put you on mute again. I love that you all have a go. That's brilliant.
Oh my gosh.
Cool. So, and I just realised now I feel quite rubbish. It's a bit late, but if you didn't want to do that, it's always good to come into downward dog. You're still kind of developing strength in your arms here, but I forgot to tell you that bit. Sorry, what can I say? Sorry, I'm sorry. Okay, we're going to do a seated spinal twist, then we're going to do a breathing practice, then we're going to move into the relaxation. So it might be nice just to get your warm things to hand now. If anybody wants to pop, yeah, maybe just get your warm things around you. Right. So we're going to sit up in Dandasana first of all. So the idea here is that we're still, let's have a look. Okay, let's just make sure we're sitting in Dandasana properly. So let's have our feet out in front of us. Our hands can be behind us. So, and maybe have the fingers pointing towards you. Have the knees bent and the soles of the feet on the floor. Chest is lifted. And we're going to take our right leg forward and our left leg forward. And as we do that, it's almost as if the body wants to come up to that straight line, that right line. We've got this 90-degree angle here. And so I'm sitting up, my shoulders are backing down. And this isn't easy. It's not the most relaxing of postures. It actually requires strength. And if I press here, I can feel that there's muscles going on. And that's always a little bit encouraging, isn't it? So from here, we're going to move into our spinal twist. Take your right hand underneath your right knee. Lift that knee up. Take the right foot to the outside edge of that left leg. And then from here, you can either, with your left hand, you can hold your right knee, or perhaps you can hug your right knee, whatever feels good for you. I'm going to move into, turning towards this bent leg. In order to do that, you may find that perhaps your t-shirt or your belly is getting in the way. So if you wanted to just move back slightly, just to begin to get some of this stuff out of the way, and then bring the body up tall again. We're going to take the right hand up and stretch it down behind us. And this right hand, I'm pushing into this right hand, and this right hand is helping me sit up nice and tall. I'm not lounging out on the beach. This arm it's almost as if it's an extra spine. It's helping me sit up nice and tall, keeping my chest lifted. I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to think about length. As I breathe out, I'm going to move towards that bent leg. This back hand isn't stuck. I can move this back hand further around. I'm going to breathe in. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. As I breathe out, I'm going to draw my belly in, and that maybe gives you a little bit more of an opportunity to get further into that lovely twist. Breathing in, sitting up nice and tall. Breathing out, moving into the twist. The neck is just casual. I'm not straining my neck to look over my shoulder. It's just casually looking back. And if you've come around far enough, perhaps you can take the outside edge of the left elbow and press it against the outside edge of the right knee. Fingertips pointing up towards the ceiling. And that creates an extra little bit of leverage for us to move around. And it's also a mudra. That left foot is flexed, the toes are pointing towards the ceiling. Push into the right big toe. It's almost as if you could stand up on that right foot. That right foot is pressing into the ground. Breathing in, sitting up tall, breathing out, thinking about the twist. And then we're going to breathe in, we're going to come back to center. Beautiful, lovely. Take the right leg, allow the right leg to straighten. Take the left hand, lifting up that left knee, taking the left foot so the outside edge of the foot is on the outside edge of that left knee. It's fine to have the foot further down the calf if you want to. I just use that as a bit of a guide mark, but whatever feels good for you. And again, perhaps thinking about just maybe moving t-shirts, bellies, just so you can begin to get into that twist. You can hold the left knee, or perhaps you can hug that left knee, sitting up nice and tall and straight. Taking the left arm up and back behind us. That left arm is acting as an extra spine. We're going to breathe in, we're going to sit up nice and tall. Breathing out, we're going to move into that twist. Always drawing that belly round. If it helps, it's fine. Sitting up nice and tall. Breathing out, draw the belly in as we move further into the twist. The back hand doesn't stop. The neck isn't strained. The neck is casual. Just casually looking back. If you come around far enough, perhaps you can take the outside edge of the right elbow to the outside edge of that left knee. The right fingers are pointing up towards the ceiling, creating a bit of leverage to perhaps help you further into the twist. The toes of the right foot are pointing up towards the ceiling. Pushing into the toe of the, pushing into the ball of the left big toe. And then breathing in, coming back to center. So we're going to move into our breathing practice. I'm going to come just a little bit closer so you can see what it is that we're doing. So make sure that you find that comfortable seated position again that we spoke about at the start of the class. Perhaps you're cross-legged or you're kneeling. But wherever you are, your shoulders are back and down and your spine is nice and straight. So we're going to work with our alternate nostril breathing. Sometimes it's called analoma viloma, sometimes it's called nadi shodhana. I haven't quite worked out why there's a difference in these two names. There's so we're going to alternately breathe through either nostril. There is a special hand gesture for this, if you wanted to do it. So if you have your hands, I believe that might be Vulcan, a bit like that, and then you curl these fingers in, and so that leaves you with your thumb to press on your right nostril and your ring finger to press on your left nostril. You can use your thumb and your left finger and your ring finger to work the nostrils. If that feels weird, it's fine to put these fingers in there. If that feels weird, then just use those three, that's fine. As we work through this, we're doing this breathing exercise. Sometimes I've noticed that we end up curling down. If that is the case, you can use this hand here to help support you and keep you upright. So that's the what we're going to do. We'll just go through one round together, and then we'll just come to our normal breath, and then we'll do the practice. So just take the hand position that works for you. We're going to breathe in together through both nostrils and breathe out through both nostrils. And then we're going to block both nostrils. We're going to open up the thumb, so we breathe in through the right. We're going to close the right nostril. We're going to open the left nostril and breathe out through the left. We're going to close the left nostril. We're going to open the left nostril, breathe in through the left. We're going to close the left nostril, open the right nostril and breathe out through the right. So that's one round. I will talk us through it again when we get to that part of the practice. For now though, just allow the hands to come down towards the thighs. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, close the eyes. And again, if it's okay for you, And just begin to be aware of your breath again. Noticing how your breath feels. And know that if in the practice you find that one nostril isn't working, or if you're a little bit blocked up, it's fine to breathe in and out of the mouth. Just have the idea that you're breathing in through the nostrils instead. Just begin to become aware of your breath, the inhalation and the exhalation. Tailbone is moving down towards the floor. The shoulders are back and down. There's a slight lift in the chest. The chin is neither up nor down, but as if on a shelf. Noticing the rate of the breath, the ratio, and noticing where the breath lives in the chest. Where does the breath like to call home? Good. And then we're going to take the hand position that works for you. Keeping both nostrils open at first. We're going to breathe in through both nostrils and breathe out through both nostrils. Close both nostrils. Open the thumb, breathe in through the right. Close the right, open the left, breathe out. Close the left. Open the left, breathe in. Close the left, open the right, breathe out. That's one round. Close the right. Open the right, breathe in. Close the right, open the left, breathe out. Close the left. Open the left, breathe in. Close the left, open the right, breathe out. Just keep working on your own breath now. Closing the nostrils after the inhalation and the exhalation. So you inhale and pause by blocking both. Opening out the other nostril, breathing out. Closing both nostrils, creating that pause. Keep going with this, but begin to notice that perhaps all of the effort of the breath is coming from you dragging the breath through the nose. Take your attention back to your diaphragm, back to your respiratory system in your chest, and think about using the muscles of the respiratory system in the chest to draw the breath in and to expel the air out. And more of a gentle breath again. If at any time this feels less than comfortable, it's fine to release the practice and just return to your normal breath. The next time you breathe out of your right nostril, just keep the eyes closed, release the hand. and return to your normal breath. And just observe your breath again. Observing how that feels. The rate, the ratio, perhaps where the breath likes to call home. And then without disturbing yourselves too much, just bring yourself down into a comfortable position, perhaps lying on the floor, perhaps lying on your back. Putting on any extra warm layers that you need. It might feel nice to put a cushion underneath your head. It might feel nice to put on socks, jumpers, blankets. Just taking a little time to make yourself warm and comfortable. The body will begin to cool down after this practice, after our physical practice. So just make sure that all feels good for you still. Good. So perhaps you're lying in your relaxed position. Maybe this is in Savasana with the back on the floor. And with our back on the floor, our body weight is evenly distributed. The legs are outstretched. And the palms of the hands are facing upwards. But in this moment, just do what feels right for you. You may be more comfortable if you have the knees bent, allowing the lower back to release. And if the knees are bent, then just have the feet wide apart so that the knees can fall into each other to give support. Just taking a moment to settle. Notice the weight of the body relaxing into the floor. And just tune into the sound of your breath, the in-breath and the out-breath. This is your time to relax and let go. Visualize the muscles in the backs of the legs, the muscles in the arms, the muscles around the abdomen and the lower back, releasing into the floor. Listen to the sound of your breath and just be aware of the sensation of the breath as it brushes the tip of the nose and reaches down to the back of the throat. And as you bring your attention to your breath, you may notice thoughts come into your mind, and you may notice that you begin to run after these thoughts. But instead, acknowledge the thoughts and then let them go, and bring your attention back to your breath and perhaps back to my voice. Just allow my voice to guide you through these next 15 minutes. If you should find your awareness drifting from your breath, just gently and mindfully bring your attention back to the natural and easy rhythm of your breath. And as you become aware of the sensation of breathing, just feel any movement in the body as a result. Picture the air flowing into the lungs. You see the warmer air flowing from the lungs as you breathe out. As you bring your awareness to your breath, just notice the breath becoming soft and light. Hearing the sound of the soft in-breath, your quiet out-breath. And with each in-breath, allowing a greater sense of openness within the chest. And with each out-breath, a greater sense of relaxation and peace. If your attention wanders from your breath, consciously and thoughtfully bring the attention, bring the awareness back to the gentle and steady nature of your breath. Good. So the energy that we create when we practice yoga is known as prana. And you may feel this warm energy becoming slowly absorbed by the body. When we lie in Savasana, this allows the body to reap the benefits of our practice. You may feel this energy as perhaps a tingling or just a warm sensation on the skin or just on the muscles, a gentle tingling. But just imagine that this energy touches and surrounds your joints, your wrists, elbows and shoulders, your hips, knees and ankles. And feel the energy flowing between your joints. And become aware of this energy and just surrender to it for a moment. Feel the joints surrounded by this pranic energy, becoming relaxed and heavy into the floor. And know that the floor supports them, so let your joints release, letting go of anything you wish to let go of. Letting go of anything that no longer serves you. As you lay on the floor, you may wish to imagine a soft and warm light enveloping your whole body, beginning at the base of the neck and moving slowly down your arms, first the right arm and now the left. Notice the weight of your arms, the muscles first, and the joints becoming heavy and relaxed. Moving down, the light enveloping your chest. Your chest becomes heavy, sinking into the mat. The energy moving down to your stomach and lower back. This part of your body, heavy, supported, and weighted deep into the ground. Moving to the thighs, the muscles releasing, sinking deep into the floor. The energy moves to your calf muscles, your ankles. Your feet are warm and soft. Your whole body relaxed and weighted into the floor. Feel that this energy carries with it a kindness and acceptance. And allow these feelings to occur naturally within you. And breathe nice and easy. Become aware of your head on the mat. And be aware of your head and your neck in relation to the rest of your body. Become aware of the length of the neck as you allow your chin just to move forward slightly, tucking the chin in, allowing the muscles in your neck to release. Supported and guided by the floor, let your head and neck release. Become aware of the muscles in your jaw relaxing, the muscles behind your eyes heavy and warm, relaxed. Your whole body on the floor, your whole body heavy and weighted, relaxed on the floor. And now move your attention to the space between your eyes. And imagine that this space feels warm and soft, heavy and nurtured. And notice the energy in this space. This is a safe haven. This is your haven. Here you feel safe and secure. Just stay in this moment, the next 2 minutes, until you hear my voice again. Just become aware of how you feel. Perhaps at peace, perhaps calm, and perhaps contented. And know that these feelings of well-being and peace are yours to keep. They'll continue for the rest of the evening, tomorrow, and into the future. You created these feelings and they live inside of you. And you can call upon them whenever you need to. Just gradually bring your awareness back to the present. And become aware of the sensation of the weight of the body on the floor, the sounds you can hear in the room. Just acknowledge these sounds and just allow them to gradually bring you back to the present moment. This moment today, the way your body is today. And observe the way your body and your mind feels for a moment. And feel contented with whatever your mind and body are telling you. Bringing your awareness back to the sensation of your body on the floor. Just begin to take some deeper breaths now. Bringing oxygen and energy back into the body. Perhaps enough energy to wriggle the fingers. Perhaps enough oxygen to wiggle the toes. Maybe circling the wrists, circling the ankles. Gently roll the head side to side. And being aware of where you are in the room, it might feel nice. Just take a stretch out, moving in any way that feels good for you. Might feel nice to bring the knees up onto the body. Hug the knees in, and then just begin to rock the body side to side. Just massaging the muscles of the back. And then when you're ready, just rolling over onto one side, just taking a few more breaths here. And then using your hands to bring yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Good. So we'll finish again with have 3 OMs. And so just in those that may be unaware, OM is a reflection, or it's the sound of the Big Bang. When the yogis were Omming for thousands of years because they recognized that the universe started from sound, this Big Bang. That, so the Om is echoing the sounds of the Big Bang. And you can consider we are all made out of stardust, we are all made out of sound. So this here is just the universe is doing its Lucy expression. And over there you have the universe doing its Gary, Tiffany, Scott, Gordana, Susan, Catherine, Rosie, Maggie, and Julie, Dan, Penny and Jackie expression. Great. So we'll Om, so we're reflecting the sound of the Big Bang, we're reflecting the universe. If that doesn't grab you, it's always fine to do 3 OMs just to freak the neighbours out, because that's always good too. Wherever we are, perhaps we can take our hands to heart centre. We can take a deep breath in, drawing the breath down to the bottom of the lungs, breathing in, and breathing out. Perhaps we can bring our hands to the forehead. Right thoughts to the heart, right to the lips, right words to the heart, right intention. Namaste. Let's put you back on. Let's just put you back on. Unmute all. Unmute all.
Unmute all. Bye-bye, Lucy. Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
gorgeous. See you later,
Have a
Gordana.
good evening, everyone. Thank
Lovely to
you.
see you.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Lucy.
Get
Thank
in
you.
contact with any questions.
Bye, Susan. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Night, Maggie.
Maggie. Bye. Bye.